If you give him food, the dirty plate, you don't respect him. If you spoke to him in a way that he did not like outside, you don't respect him. If you greeted him very shabbily, you don't respect him. You know, and everything boils down to respect. If whatever it is, you know. So one of the key ways you show your husband that you love him is that you respect him. And by respect, we're saying, you know, so believe in what he believes in, support what he supports. Do you understand? Regard what he regards. If he says, I don't like my food like this, please do it the way he says he likes it. You know, I'm trying to keep it in the very little things. If he says, I don't like you wearing ugu in the house, please wear the kind of clothes he wants you to wear. Because for him, how you respond to what he says to you is a mark of respect. So if you go about saying, no, I love my husband, I love my husband, you even do a broadcast online and tell everybody, oh, I love my husband. Meanwhile, he tells you A, you do B. In his view, in his mind, you don't love him. You don't. All right? So show him you love him by the way you respect him, by the way you attend to him. Don't attend to your husband shabbily. There's something Pastor Kingsley always says, that in a man is a king. I think it was my mother originally said it. Is a king and a what's the other one now? All right. Whatever you feed is what you get. If you feed his kingship, all right, he will enter his kingdom and make you his queen. All right. But if you feed the troublesome man in him or the rascal in him, he will bring out rascality for you. All right. So in every man, there's that king. You need to know how to speak to the king in your husband. Men go through a lot of humiliation at work, a lot of humiliation outside. A man's world is full of fights and struggle, trying to, you know, prove his worth, trying to earn a keep, trying to, you know, save face, just trying to do all of this. And then he comes home, the one place where he's supposed to have peace and love and calm. And then he's also getting shabby treated. He wouldn't love that. So the way you attend to your husband, the way you speak with him, the way you make your request known, the way you show commitment to him, the way you honor him, all right? These are the things that show to him that you respect him. You need to be able to pay attention to his wishes and his thoughts. He says something like, if only I could, maybe there's an event and he needs to put on a red tie for it, and he's like, I thought I had a red tie, I can't find it anymore. He just said that, he wasn't saying anything to you. But the next day you were coming back, you bought him a beautiful red tie, just because you heard him wish that he had a red tie. You see, the way you pay attention to his wishes and his thoughts and desires go a long way to show him that you respect and honor him and that you are committed to him. And don't forget something I said before. He's hearing the way you talk about other men in your life, the way you talk about your boss, your pastor. All right. And if he feels for any bit that, you know, you're according some more regard to those persons than you are to him, all right, it will begin to affect his morale.
Yes.
I have quite some points. Let me try to even move faster. Or not stand. Can I go ahead? Okay.
Yeah.
Stand with your husband. Stand with him, whether things are looking good or not. I see a number of ladies too. When it is rosy, they are fine. When the challenges start coming in, they start complaining. You see, that's not good. Stand with him. Whether he's struggling with issues at work, midlife crisis, stay strong for your husband. And this is why you should keep praying for him. All right? Don't give up on him at those moments when he's down. No. Speak strength to him. Those are the times when he needs your encouragement the most in his life. All right? I'll share 2 more points and I'll have to stop, even though I have a material on this where I enumerated about 30 points. I thought I would run through all of them, but I have to and respect the time. Okay. So show emotional strength. This is another thing some ladies don't do. Show emotional strength while going through life. All right. What do I mean by this? Challenges. Something happens. Hey, oh my God! Oh, hey, oh, what am I going to do now? Hey. Don't get easily broken, easily confused. You know, when there are challenges, don't do that. Show emotional strength. And this is why I tell people that personal development is very important. It is very important. You must build personal capacity. You must build personal capacity. Very important. I cannot emphasize that point. All right. Now, take note of this. Your husband wants you to be his friend, his best friend. All right. And by that, he doesn't want to be conscious of his ego around you. He wants to be able to play like a boy. He wants to do silly things. You know, a man wants to do the naughtiest things that you can think of. He wants to be free to do it with you. He wants to jump up and down. He wants to lie down on the floor. He wants to, you know, he wants to twerk for you, even if he cannot dance. You know, a man wants to do some of those silly.
Interesting.
A small child. He wants to be a small child when I see. You don't understand that you are the controller of his mumu button. He wants to display that mumu for you. Do you understand? So understand him and be friends with him. Yeah.
We didn't hear the last thing you said. Network was, yeah.
I'm so sorry. The network was
a bit unstable.
Yeah. Okay, so I was saying that he wants to feel free to be a mumu around you, that you have his mumu button. He wants to show you how carefree he can be, you know, and he does some of these things to make you happy for your entertainment. All right. So
yes, sir.
Don't when he's bringing out the child in him, don't go and start disrespecting him and telling him to behave like a man. If you see the man you're asking for, you will run. If you really see that man you're asking for, you will run. You see, but with you, you are his most vulnerable point. So he wants to play. All right. So please allow him and even play with him. Do pillow fight. Do balloon fight. Do balloon play. You know, run around the house with boxers and just pants and bra. You know, do those things. I mean, when it's just both of you in the house. All right. You know, so be his friend. All right. Be his friend. So that you are the one he's picking up the phone to call when there is any development in any area of his life. He's calling you first. Even though he needs to speak to the engineer, to the consultant, but he's calling you first. My dear CEO, in fact, this project, in fact, okay, let me speak to the engineer. So I'll keep you on there. I'll talk to you later. Okay. But he's talking to you first because you're the one who matters the most in his life. So be there for him, support him. All right. And let me tell you something. By default, many men don't know how to gist. So you have to teach him how to gist. You have to bring out the conversation from him. Exactly. Listen, a typical man, when you ask him, after gisting him for 2 hours how your day went, and you ask him, so what of you? He'll tell you fine. And that fine, he has told you everything he wants to tell you. You say, but tell me more now, what happened to your day? Just the usual. He has tried though. That's why he doesn't know how to talk about that. All right. So if
we get them to really talk, yes.
Yes, you have to teach him, you have to engage him, you have to ask him questions. And then you see, when I say teach him, you really have to teach him. I need to tell him that, see, when a woman tells you, or when your wife asks you how was your day, don't just tell me fine now. Can't you see the way I just said you everything about my day? Yeah. Tell me what happened. When you're driving out of the garage, what happened? Did you see a madman on the road? Did you splash water on somebody's body? Did somebody just all those things that you think are insignificant details, they matter to your wife.
Listen, yeah.
So, but my point is, because we don't know it, you have to be the one to teach us. All right. And how you know your husband has excelled in this is when, for all of those insignificant things, you can pick up the phone and call you. Do you understand? Then you will know that, this is my guy, they feel me. Do you understand? Insignificant things. It's not only what are you cooking. I'm very hungry. Make sure the soup is ready before I get home. No. Do you understand? The stupid things, he can discuss it with you freely. All right. Now, this is another thing. Give your husband peace. Don't stress him.
Exactly.
Don't nag him. Let the home be the place where he finds the most peace on earth. Let it be when he comes back to your arms. Yes, there are things he's not measuring up in. And you see, let me also say this about men.
Hello. The last thing you said is give your husband peace. So
yes,
the thing that followed up, we didn't hear. I think the network was a bit off for you.
Thank you for driving me back. Yeah, I said give him peace in his life. All right. Now, let the home be the place where he finds the greatest level of joy and peace and calm in his life. When he's back to your arms, when he's back to you, there may be things he's not doing yet. Please don't use those things against him. And something you need to know about the man, we are not like you women that are so blessed that you can juggle so many things at the same time. Many times a man is on project mode. It is project one after the other. When he is watching movies, he is not pressing his phone. When he is pressing his phone, he's not watching the movie. You see, but women can be watching phone, pressing phone, watching movie, reading a novel, and cooking and taking care of the baby, and everything is fine. And they are following the movie, they didn't miss any part in it. You see, for a man, it is this or that. Very few men have developed that skill to be able to juggle different things. So my point is, there might be things he's not yet doing that you want. Don't worry. Maybe in that part of his brain, he has not gotten to that file yet. All right. So you need to know how to discuss with him in the way that he can now move that file from where it is to the front and treat it. Okay. If not, you will just think he doesn't love you, but he loves you. He's interested. He really wants to do what you're saying, but he hasn't gotten to that part in his brain where this is the matter to treat. He's treating it one after the other. In his mind, after I do this and that, then I will do that other one. But if you know you want him to do that one right now, you need to know how to communicate with him to bring it to front burner so that he can treat it. All right. I hope somebody understands that.
Yeah.
So another point that Iman wants, please, indecent dressing is what happens in the public. In the house, Oga wants to see skin. Be indecent for him. It's only indecent when there's a third eye looking at it. That's what
I agree. I agree.
Oga wants to see skin. He wants to see body. He wants to see boobs. He wants to see nipples. Don't go and be wearing, don't be dressing as if you are going to office or conference in the house. And it's just two of you. What happened now? Do you understand? No, save those things for when you're going out. When you're with him, keep it hot. See, let me tell you, your husband wants you to be the object of his lust perpetually, not just when he was tripping for you.
Please say it again.
He wants you to be the object of his lust perpetually. And lust in this case is not a bad word. When you're doing this for another person's wife, it is wrong, it is sinful. Lust in this case, this is sexual attraction, strong sexual attraction. For goodness sake, if a wife cannot be the object of a man's sexual attraction, what should be? Is he a secretary in the office? Is it the women that he's seen at work or somewhere else? Do you understand? So he wants to fill up his mind with you. He wants to be turned on by you. All right, you need to know this. So if you say, I'm not used to bomb shots in my house, you didn't used to wear bomb shots. Sister, that was your house. So now you're a wife. Please find bomb shorts or short skirts and wear for your husband. Don't be wearing bra all the time when you're in the house. He wants to see those boobs to dangle. He wants you to be the object of his lust. All right. And of course, men are very highly sexified human beings. All right. I'm supposed to get to that point later. All right. So what he sees to a large extent determines whether he's coming after you or not. Okay. So that is very important. You need to know this. Dress hot for your husband. Look attractive to him all the time. Take personal hygiene very seriously. Very seriously. You even need this more for yourself than for your husband. All right. So take it very seriously. All right. Wipe properly, bath regularly, maintain fresh breath, do your hair, look good, smell fresh. I mean, these things are very important to a man. See, not every man will give you some feedback if there's an offensive odor. Not every man will give you feedback because he feels like he doesn't want to hurt you, but he might just pull back. He might just restrain. Okay, so don't wait for that to happen. Take full charge of your hygiene and your presentation to him. It is very important to do this, all right, because he's looking out for it and it means everything to him. It means everything to him, all right? This other point, you need to know this. When he needs his space, please give him space. Be understanding. It's not because he's angry with you. It's not because he's quarreling with you. It's not because there's another woman in his life. When a guy needs space, see, space for a man is the way he refreshes. Is that my timer? Is that an alarm clock?
No.
Okay. Space for a man.
I'm trying to.
Don't forget to signal me because I didn't really time myself when I started, so I would trust.
Okay.
You.
Okay. So you have 10 minutes to go.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
With questions. Yeah, with questions.
Oh, with questions. So let me stop now so that I can take questions actually.
All right. Okay.
All right. So let me stop here because we can't exhaust these things. All right. Let me stop here. But I think there was one point I was trying to make. Which one was that?
Please go ahead and make that point. We don't want to miss it at all.
Oh, yes. I was talking about personal space. Yeah. Let me just close with that one. When a man says he wants space, that is how he recalibrates. Many times, that's how he conceptualizes. That's where he's working on ideas. Certain things are not clear for him. That's not when he wants to talk because he really does not even know how to communicate what's going on in his heart at that point. It's not because he doesn't love you. It's not because he's seeing somebody else. It's not because you are offending him. No, there's just that time in a man's life where he wants isolation. He wants his space. All right. So please understand it and grant him that space. Maybe he just wants to be in the room. Maybe he just wants to be in the guest room. Maybe he wants to be in the parlor, and you are in the room. Please understand. Where there'll be a problem is where this now becomes the pattern every day, my space. What are you not telling us? Do you understand? But if occasionally he tells you, I just need some time, I'm working on something, or he might not even tell you, but you just notice it. He's in the room, you came into the room and started gisting. After a while, he took his laptop, went to the guest room, or went to his office in the house, or went to the parlor and plugged his ear. You might just notice that this might not be that time where a guy wants all of this. Give him that space. Accord him that personal space. All right, because many times that is where he refreshes, that is where he recalibrates. See, sometimes he is doing nothing. You need to know that there's something called nothing time for a man. He's not doing anything, he's not thinking of anything, he just wants to breathe. He just wants fresh air. All right. So please accord him that time, accord him that space. It's not because you're offending him. No, only him by himself will come back and meet you. All right, but just understand this so that you know how to navigate your relationship with him. So let me stop there and let me get your feedback.
Wow. Awesome. Thank you. So I just got this last point as if I've never heard it before, that there's a time when a man wants to do nothing, just wants to be alone with nothing time. Please, I've noted that for myself. So we don't need to stalk him all the time. He just needs that space for himself. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I don't want to just spill all the things that I've got, but let me hear from one or two persons who have something to say. Irene, are you ready to talk to us? Everyone, who has a question? If you know you have a question to ask Coach Shemeze, please kindly unmute your mic and do so now. Maybe it's a contribution, maybe it's a point that, hits you hard. Maybe it's a question. You have a few minutes to do this. So unmute your mic and talk to us. All right? Who's ready to start first? Or you even want to make a contribution or a comment based on what you heard, what he wants in a spicy marriage. I've gotten a lot. So I want to know that someone else was listening and is so, inspired. Let me check the comments.
Questions, comments, anyone?
Questions, comments. Jennifer Madueke, can you speak to us today? Madueke, are you there? Okay, I believe you're going to send in your comments very soon. Let me check the comment, the chat room. Oh, I see. I see. Well done. Okay. Some people are okay.
There's a hand
right.
up.
Yes.
Isn't why it's raising a hand?
Yes, Ezinwa, you can go ahead and speak.
I beg me give it. Okay.
Ezinwa, you can go ahead.
Everyone.
All right. Good afternoon.
Yeah, I just want to comment. I just want to comment on the speaker. You know, I just want to say thank you. Why? Because you were not personal. Okay, you generalized the topic, and it wasn't about you and your own spouse. Okay, so I want to commend you on that. You just went direct. In general, you touched everywhere. It wasn't specific, maybe how your own marriage is. That's what I want to comment about you. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Ezinwa, for your comment. I hope you got what she said.
Yeah, I did. Thank you so much, Ezinwa.
Who else has something to share with us? Something you are picking from the speaker. Ezinwa had just mentioned. So who else has something to say? Okay, Irene said she has something to say.
Okay.
Irene, can you unmute yourself and speak to us? Irene, can you unmute yourself? Then you can speak to us. We have 1 more minute to do that.
Hello.
Irene.
Hello.
Oh, you didn't know that you raised your hand. Okay, so who else has something to say?
Hello.
Yeah, someone is saying something. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, this is gospel. I really learned things from what my brother said, but just the last one he said, I'm a man. When just like he said, a man has which they call nothing, no time for he needs for himself. But please, as a wife too, put an eye on him. Paraventure once, sometimes somebody, maybe we've had occasions where somebody committed suicide because he came back and went to stay alone. And just as a woman too, even though you're giving him time, but just stay somewhere and be watching him. You never can tell.
Very important. So thank you for saying that. Let me add this to that. Thank you so much for that dimension. You see, sometimes a man does not know how to bring out what he's going through. He doesn't know how to express it. Sometimes he's battling feelings of rejection, his self-worth, his morale. Do you understand? So while he's demoralized there and going through all of that, please, like he said, keep an eye on him. When he comes back to you or when you have chance to meet him, please take him back there and find out, hey, Oga, what was going on? Is it work? Is it this? Is it that? And in all of these, you are reassuring him. That's very key. Because if you are judging him, he will run away the home. But with reassurance, all right, then he would open up and let you know that, man, this is it. Oh, I just made the biggest mistake. In fact, that house rent that I had saved up, I gambled it, the money is gone. Do you understand? I feel so irresponsible right now. I feel so useless right now. I don't know if you can forgive me. I've messed up. He might become that vulnerable and open up. Okay, so please, that's very true that when a man is on his own, all right, once in a while, please keep an eye, and then feel free to know how to lovingly take him to that spot where he can let you know what's going on in his mind.
Yeah,
all right.
I agree. Totally. I agree. So Irene is ready to speak to us now. Irene, can you unmute yourself and speak to us?
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Can
Good
you hear me?
afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll do
Okay, so I just want to say a big thank you to the speaker for what he actually shared to us this afternoon, because I really learned a lot. Actually, I'm
Welcome.
still new in this marriage thing. So I really learned a
Interesting.
lot.
Welcome.
I learned that there are times when our husbands will need their alone time, thinking about nothing, but they just want to be alone. And also, we should try as much as possible to speak affirmations to them, and we should say it to them. They should hear us saying it, like always hear us saying it, not just when we're praying or whatever. We should always say it to them when they are down. We should try to speak words of strength, of courage to them. I really, really appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for what you
Thank
shared.
you so much.
All right, thank
Thank
you.
you. God bless.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Rene, for your comment. Does anyone else have something to say?
Okay,
so,
good afternoon. Good afternoon, if you
Pastor
can
Rice,
hear
good
me.
afternoon. It's good to have you here.
Good afternoon, sir.
I think I joined when you started talking about the quiet time, the me time, the do nothing time for men, and it's true. There are times when a man doesn't want he doesn't want to even watch TV or Premiership or Champions League or anything. He just want to sit down there and just soak up all the pressure and all, and he's calculative in his mind and all that.
Yeah.
In doing that, we shouldn't encourage it. And I'll tell you why we shouldn't encourage that kind of, when the man is in the home environment. You see, we have to be very, very careful, because if you do that consistently, you will become what I said yesterday. The man cannot become a native doctor, because I said a native doctor because when you get married, there is nothing like, before you got married, you could have your time to yourself and be alone and don't care who gets into your head or gets on your matter. But the moment you carry somebody, the person leaves, you carry somebody for his mom, from her mother's house, her parents' house, to come and start living with you in the same house, and two of you have become one. Look, one of the things we tell people in marriage, when they are making the confession, is they share their joys willingly together. They share their pains together. They share their frustrations together. So if the man is going through frustration, who else is he going to share it with? We are both. If the man is not happy, the woman cannot be happy. So while they are having their quiet time and all that, because people don't actually know how to manage it, because the devil starts talking to people in that regard, and then they taking it on their families, they start taking it on their wives and all that.
So true.
So once you notice that something is not okay, why should I now have to be too careful that he doesn't commit suicide? What kind of a man is that? He wants to go and kill himself and all that. I mean, if you kill yourself, you're not what? I mean, you're just selfish, So we share together our joys. I told you, I just had, somebody just stole from me maybe like some millions, which doesn't happen maybe once in a lifetime. I don't think anybody has ever taken so much from me, stole from me like that. But in the midst of it all, you still get to talk to the family, talk to my children, still talk to my wife. This is what happened, and let's move on. So when you start having that kind of, if a man that is not mature gets into that kind of, the devil can just start talking to him, and then start thinking, in fact, I want to be alone. Before you know it, he start filing for divorce. What happened now? Am I the one? She's not. No, I just want to be alone. His interpretation of being alone, the devil has twisted his mind. So he thinks that everybody else needs to get out of the house so that he can be alone. And when I clear my mind, you can now come back. I mean, a couple of months ago, maybe like 2-3 months ago, I had to go and intervene in a family. The guy said he's tired of the woman, and I spoke to him for a long time, till almost 1 a.m. And he was still trying to tell me. I said, look, you can't just be behaving like, you can't just leave the house and not come back. I mean, you have a family, you have to come back to your wife. And if If it's official, let us know. So I spoke to the person very, very seriously because it has become collateral damage. So in everything, there has to be a balance. I cannot trust men to be alone for too long. There are very few men that can handle that. You may be able to handle it, but it's not all men that can handle that. So is that I agree with you. There are times I just want to be alone. Sometimes I can take a long drive, just clear my head. But to sit down in the house, Junior is jumping on you. You are just insensitive. They rub your head, rub your back, rub every part of your body. You are still there like a rope tree. Something is wrong.
Something is wrong.
Something is definitely wrong. So you have to, my pastor, the man of God, Pastor Chris, taught us many years ago how to turn darkness to light. At that time that the man is downcast, that is the time to just turn darkness to light. Forget about all that is going through. Cheer up, smile, enjoy the wife that God has given to him. And if you are going through stuff, go through it together. Don't say the woman does not understand, or she's a weaker vessel. Chapter what, verse what in the Bible. So while we're saying that there's a time, let's not encourage it, because some men now they say, yes, it's true. There's a man needs to be alone. So it's not supposed to be for someone that, yesterday something the Spirit of God talked about, a scripture that the Spirit of God brought to my mind, that if I have the opportunity to talk about, and I do share it with a couple, especially those that mistreat their wives and don't value them. They see them as collateral damage. Yeah, it's in the Bible. And if you cannot follow that kind of scripture, then you are not a man. Even if you marry 10 wives, you still behave. So behavior never lies. We are who we are. So I'm just saying that there has to be a balance in everything. I cannot trust a man because there's a way he is, he's feeling dejected, rejected, cheated, he's feeling like that. Not everybody can handle it. Not everybody have the maturity to handle that kind of a thing. So I'm not going to encourage every man to get into that position for too long. It's just for a short while. If your son comes around and says, Daddy, how are you doing? And all that, say, I'm doing fine. If your daughter comes, your wife comes, just turn darkness to light, switch off, and then come back to yourself. Otherwise, you may just be doing incantations like a native doctor.
Be led astray.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Spot on.
Always,
yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for your perspective also.
Thank you, Pastor Life.
Very interesting. Thank you so much. Great to always have you here, sir. Thank you. On this note, we'll introduce the next speaker because we're actually running out of time. The next speaker is a friend, a sister, a mother, one of our committee when it comes to this confident woman. She's one of our top committee, a prayer partner, and she's someone I also learned from. Join me to welcome Pastor Sophia Obi, who is going to be speaking to us about what a woman wants in a spicy marriage. We look forward to having you. Welcome, Pastor Sophia.
Thank you very much, Danica. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Very well.
I don't know why I can't turn on my video. I'm using a new phone, so
wow.
And I've been trying since. I've really loved the people to see my beautiful face. Oh. And I'm also on the road.
What is your beautiful face?
I don't know.
So what do we do now?
I don't know. He's saying don't have access to camera, blah, blah, blah. Wow. Okay, but we'll manage. And I'm on the road. We're driving somewhere.
Okay. All right.
One wonderful thing. I'm so excited that my husband is here with me. So I'm going to be pouring out my mind. And I know he's learning. Praise the Lord.
What's his strategy?
Thank you very much, You've been a blessing. Hi to everyone from my contact that is here. I love you all. Hey, I can see you. I'm so honored that you are here.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much to the first speaker. You spoke so well. I learned a whole lot. And God bless you. Thank you, Pastor Light. Yesterday was a bomb. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to start with this scripture, the book of Romans 5, verse 25. I'm going to read quickly. It says, husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. I'm speaking on what women want in a spicy marriage. You know, the first speaker spoke about what men want. We've heard all the things that they want. And trust women, I programs for women, we're always praying. We're always praying for our husbands. We're always doing things. And I doubt if a lot of men are asking their women, what do you want? And the Bible has instructed here that men should love their wives as Jesus loves the church. So if you're a man here, and to every man that will listen to this, I need you to ask yourself that question. Do you love your wife as Jesus loves the church, as he has instructed? Now, this is not coming from us women. For us women, the Bible told us to submit to our husbands.